Hello and welcome back to Horoscope TV. I have to tell you, I am absolutely buzzing today.
Yeah, I can tell.
I mean, I've been sitting here with this huge stack of charts, looking at the ephemeris and the planetary tables we've pulled for this analysis, and the energy coming off these pages is just, it's palpable.
Oh, entirely. It really is.
Because usually when we sit down to tackle a monthly forecast, it's kind of mixed bag, right?
Mhm.
You see some highs, maybe some lows, a little lull in the middle of the month where you can just catch your breath. But we are about to tackle a forecast that I think is going to, well, shock a lot of people.
That is right. And it is great to be back, by the way. But you are spot on about the intensity levels here. I was looking at the transit data last night,
Right.
double checking the degrees and the aspects. And usually, as you said, there is a rhythm of tension and release.
Like a heartbeat.
Exactly, like a heartbeat. But looking at the astronomical data for this specific window, it is relentless. We are looking at a really high intensity, high stakes window of time. It's one of those months where you look at the chart and think, okay, nobody is sleeping through this.
Wow. Nobody's sleeping through this. That's a bold statement.
I mean it.
And just to orient everyone listening so they know exactly where we are on the map, our focus today is March 2026.
Yes.
And the sign of the hour. We are putting Pisces under the microscope.
Pisces, the
Right.
12th sign, the fish, the dreamer of the zodiac.
Right. And usually when I think of Pisces, and I think this is true for a lot of people who just casually read standard horoscope columns, I think of words like sleepy or dreamy or maybe just really emotional.
The classic stereotype.
Yeah. The image of floating down a lazy river or maybe playing a harp, just sort of vibing with the universe.
Mm.
But I've been looking at the planetary movements for March 2026 that we have gathered, and sleepy is the absolute last word I would use.
It is completely off the table. Let me be clear. If you go into March 2026 expecting to float down a lazy river, you are going to capsize.
Capsize. Wow.
Yeah, the currents are moving way too fast for that. You need to be alert.
So what is our actual mission here today? Because we aren't just here to, read a generic fortune cookie.
No, absolutely not. Our mission is to analyze the planetary movements, the transits, and the eclipses occurring in March 2026 to provide a strategic roadmap for our Pisces listeners.
A roadmap.
Right. Think of this less like a horoscope and more like a weather report for a sailor.
Oh, I like that.
We aren't just saying you might have a good day. We are looking at the astronomical data to tell you exactly when to push the sails, when to drop the anchor, and how to navigate what looks like a pivotal, life-altering month.
A life-altering month. I love that framing.
Mm.
A strategic guide based on complex astronomical data.
So let's look at the big headline here. If I'm a Pisces and I'm looking at this calendar, what is the core theme of March 2026? If I had to boil it down to a single tension, a single headline, it is action versus spirituality.
Action versus spirituality. That sounds, well, it sounds like a conflict, doesn't it?
It is.
Because usually we think of action as loud, kinetic, physical. You're out in the world doing things. And spirituality is quiet, internal, maybe a bit more passive, sitting on a meditation cushion.
It is a very dynamic tension. That is the fundamental friction of the month. You have the quintessential Pisces nature.
Which is the spiritual part.
Right, the part of you that is intuitive, spiritual, porous, deeply connected to the unseen. And that is colliding with some of the most aggressive, kinetic, planetary energy we have seen in a really long time.
Let's get specific on that energy.
We have a Mars entry, we have a massive lunar eclipse, and we have what astrologers call the cosmic new year, all hitting back to back.
Okay, let's unpack this immediately because you mentioned Mars. And for anyone who follows astrology even a little bit, they know Mars is the planet of war.
Precisely.
It's fire. It's aggression. It's the engine that drives us forward.
Mars is the archetype of the warrior. It is the planet of severance, of drive, of libido. It is the part of the human psyche that says, I want and I take.
And looking at the data, on March 2nd, this fiery, aggressive engine enters Pisces.
Yes. On March 2nd, Mars crosses the threshold right into the sign of Pisces.
But that feels like a massive contradiction. You're basically putting a warrior in a monastery.
Oh.
Or physically speaking, you're putting raw fire into deep water.
Mm-hmm.
What does that actually do to the energy of a Pisces listener? Doesn't the water just, put the fire out?
That is the common misconception, actually, and it is exactly where a lot of generic analyses get it wrong.
Oh, interesting.
It creates an anomaly, but a very powerful one. Think about physics for a second. What happens when you mix fire and water in a heavily contained environment?
Well, you get steam.
You get steam. And steam is incredibly powerful. Steam drives huge turbines, it moves locomotives, it generates electricity for entire cities.
Right, the Industrial Revolution was built on steam.
Exactly. So when Mars enters Pisces on March 2nd, the data suggests a massive surge of physical energy and motivation. But it's not just running around aimlessly like a fire sign might do, it's an emotional courage.
Emotional courage. So for the Pisces, who is used to maybe hanging back or being the observer or just waiting for a sign from the universe.
That shyness melts away.
Wow.
That is the key phrase here I want everyone to remember. Shyness melts away. The influence of Mars acts as a massive catalyst. If you have been passive, if you have been waiting for permission from someone else, March 2nd is the switch flip moment. You are taking the lead.
I love that image so much. Shyness melting away. It's like the fog suddenly lifting on the ocean and suddenly you're the one holding the sword on the ship.
Yes, a very nautical warrior.
So the immediate takeaway here for the listener is do not fight the urge to be bold.
Exactly. Do not fight it. If you feel a sudden spike in adrenaline or a desire to really fight for what you want, that is Mars working with your chart. Do not suppress it thinking, oh, that's not very Pisces of me. I should be more chill.
Right, because you're told you're the chill sign.
But in March 2026, that bold action is you. You're a steam engine this month.
Okay, so we start the month with this massive bang. We have the Mars injection. But then, just a couple of weeks later, we have another huge event. March 19th, the new moon in Pisces.
This is a really beautiful date, March 19.
You actually called this the cosmic new year in our prep notes.
For a Pisces listener, yes. Technically, the astrological new year often refers to the spring equinox and Aries season.
Which happens around the same time.
Right. But for you individually, a new moon in your own sign is your personal reset button. It only happens once a single year. It is the exact moment the sun and the moon align perfectly in your sector of the sky.
So this is actually bigger than January 1st for them.
Much, much bigger. January 1st is just a man-made calendar date. March 19 is an energetic mandate from the universe.
An energetic mandate.
Yes. A new moon is always about seeding intentions, planting something in the dark that will eventually grow in the light. When that moon is in your sign, you are planting seeds for yourself, your core identity, your I am presence.
So, practically speaking, what should a Pisces listener actually do on March 19? Are we talking rituals or real-world actions?
Reinvent yourself in the real world. The data supports a total refresh. This could be as surface level as changing your look. Go get that dramatic haircut, buy that entirely new wardrobe you've been eyeing.
Step out of the comfort zone.
Right, but it's also deeper than that. Launch that personal project you've been terrified to start. Mars has already given you the courage since March 2nd, and now the new moon gives you the fertile ground to plant the flag.
It's the perfect 1-2 punch. Mars says go, and the moon says here's the path.
Precisely. And the universe doesn't stop there. Just a few days later, on March 22, the sun meets Neptune.
Now, Neptune is the ruling planet of Pisces.
Right.
Right? So this is the home team playing on their home field.
It is. Neptune is the planet of dreams, illusions, deep spirituality, and boundless connection. When the sun, which illuminates and energizes everything it touches, meets Neptune in Pisces, it is the absolute peak of the spirituality side of our theme.
So we had the action with Mars all month, and now we hit the spirituality peak.
Yes, and this is where the month becomes truly magical. You aren't just an aggression machine running on steam. On March 22, the vibe shifts to being deeply spiritual and highly creative. You will feel wonderfully connected to the universe.
It sounds like a really necessary balance. If Mars is the warrior, this Sun-Neptune conjunction is like the warrior meditating on a mountain and realizing everything is deeply connected.
That is a brilliant analogy. It softens the sharp edges of Mars. It ensures that your newfound aggression isn't toxic or destructive. It's guided by pure intuition.
Now, I have to ask about communication here, because often when there's this much water energy, Pisces, Neptune things can get muddy. People feel misunderstood. You hear that classic complaint, nobody gets me.
That is the classic Pisces lament. I feel so much, but I can't explain it.
Exactly.
It can feel like you are speaking a language no one else learned. But look at the data for March 20.
Oh, Mercury goes direct in Pisces.
That is the cosmic relief valve. When Mercury goes direct in your sign, the communication fog just lifts entirely. If you have been feeling misunderstood leading up to this, suddenly the words are just
I
there.
can imagine the relief. It's like when you're trying to talk underwater, then suddenly you break the surface and you can finally breathe.
And you can speak. The forecast indicates that your words will flow with grace and perfect clarity. You will be able to express those complex, deep Neptune feelings in a way that regular people who aren't living in the deep end with you can finally understand.
That is a serious superpower, being able to translate the soul to the mind.
It really is. So March 20 is a day to have those difficult conversations, to write that important letter, to pitch that bold idea. The channels are wide open.
Okay, so we have established the general vibe of the month. You are bold, you are resetting your identity, you are spiritually connected, and you are highly articulate.
Yes.
That sounds like a recipe for, well, for a very interesting love life.
It certainly does. And that brings us perfectly to section 2 of our analysis, which is love and relationships.
And right out of the gate, looking at the timeline, we have a major event on March 3.
March 3, the lunar eclipse and full moon in Virgo.
Now, just to help our listeners visualize the chart for a second, Virgo is the opposite sign of Pisces.
Correct. In the zodiac wheel, Virgo sits directly across from Pisces. This means Virgo naturally rules the Pisces sector of partnerships and one-on-one relationships.
So when you have a full moon, which is already highly emotional, and an eclipse, which is basically a full moon on steroids happening in your partnership sector, what actually happened?
We reach a climax, a definitive turning point. Eclipses are not subtle energy. They are cosmic high beams revealing exactly what was hidden in the dark.
The stakes feel really high here.
They are very high. This isn't just a casual date night energy. This is a profound decision energy. The analysis suggests that a relationship matter will come to a major head. For some of you listening, this means taking a commitment to the next level. Let's move in together. Let's get married. Let's merge our lives.
And for others. Because eclipses aren't always about beginnings.
No, they aren't. For others, it means realizing it is finally time to walk away. The phrase that jumped out from the data is very specific. Walking away from a connection that no longer serves your heart.
Oof, that gives me chills. No longer serves your heart. That is a hard realization to come to, but an eclipse makes it impossible to ignore.
Exactly. You simply can't unsee what the eclipse reveals to you. So March 3 is a day of reckoning in love. But, and here is the twist in the data, even if things end or if relationship dynamics completely change, your personal magnetism is absolutely skyrocketing.
This goes back to Mars again, doesn't it?
It does. We have Mars in Pisces starting March 2, and then Mercury joins the party on March 15th.
The forecast calls this phase aggressive attraction.
It is a fascinating dynamic to see in a water sign. Usually, attraction for a Pisces is passive. You sit back, you look mysterious, and you wait to be noticed.
Right, the siren on the rocks.
But with Mars and Mercury in your sign, you are highly attractive because you are very direct.
You will not wait around for someone to guess your feelings. That is a huge shift for a lot of Pisces listeners.
Huge. You are speaking your truth boldly. And there is something incredibly sexy about that level of confidence. This isn't arrogance, mind you, it's clarity.
People respond to clarity.
They do. The result is that this confidence draws partners right to your door. It is a magnetic energy, but it has a strong pull. It's active, not passive.
So you're not just casting a wide net and fishing, you're spearfishing.
Haha. In a manner of speaking, yes, you are selecting, you are initiating the contact.
I love that. Now, toward the end of the month, the tone shifts again. Let's look at March 29. The moon enters Virgo.
Yes. We essentially bookend the month with Virgo energy. We started with the intense eclipse in Virgo, and we end with the moon entering Virgo.
What does that do to all this aggressive attraction we just talked about?
It cools it right down. It grounds it. The shift is from fiery passion back to careful analysis. Virgo is the ultimate analyst of the zodiac.
So you're taking off the rose-colored glasses.
You are taking them off and you are putting on your reading glasses. You are looking for equal and fair relationships. The thrill of the chase is gone. And now you genuinely want to know, does this person do the dishes?
Right. Are they actually helpful in my day-to-day life?
Exactly. The preference shifts entirely to valuing helpful actions over sweet words. You want grounded, honest love. You want a partner who contributes to the practical ecosystem of your life, not just someone who looks good on your arm or gives you butterflies.
That is such a healthy progression. You have the excitement, the climax, the raw attraction, and then the grounding reality check. It feels like a complete narrative arc for a rom-com in just one single month.
It really is. March 2026 covers the full spectrum of the romantic experience.
Speaking of romantic experience, let's talk about who is coming along for the ride. We have a section here on compatibility analysis, the best and the worst matches for this specific planetary weather.
Always a controversial topic, but the planetary geometry is very clear this month.
Let's start with the good news. The best match for March 2026.
Taurus.
The bull. A fixed earth sign. Why Taurus?
It really comes down to grounding the electrical current. You have all this intense new energy in Pisces right now. Mars, the new moon, Mercury. It can be incredibly overwhelming. Taurus is pure earth. They intuitively direct that chaotic energy into something practical and real.
So when Pisces is all fired up with Mars energy on March 2, Taurus is the one standing there saying, okay, let's actually build something with this fire.
Exactly. And looking at the key dates, take March 19th, the new moon. Taurus is the ultimate cheerleader there. They love steady growth. They love stability. They will actively support that fresh start you're making. But the real magic happens around March 22.
The Sun-Neptune conjunction, the spiritual peak we discussed.
Right. Taurus is ruled by Venus. They are the true lovers of physical and artistic beauty. When Pisces is in that deeply creative, soulful Sun-Neptune mode, Taurus is the audience that genuinely gets it. They are deeply moved by the Pisces soul.
And then Venus itself enters Taurus on March 30.
Which is Venus coming home to its ruling sign.
Right.
It brings a luxurious and romantic feeling to the end of the month. The summary here is that a Taurus partner right now is like a warm blanket on a cold day. Safety plus depth. It's just cozy.
That sounds absolutely lovely. But now we have to look at the other side of the coin. The worst match for the month.
Gemini.
The twins. A mutable air sign. Fast talkers. Why is this a no-go zone for March?
There are friction points everywhere you look in the data. It starts with the fundamental communication style. Pisces is operating on pure feelings and deep intuition this month, especially with Neptune so active. Gemini uses pure logic and incredibly fast words.
Total oil and water.
And remember March 20 when Mercury goes direct?
Yeah, communication clears up for our Pisces listeners.
Yeah. Right. For Pisces, it clears up into grace and poetry. But for Gemini, it clears up into sheer volume. Gemini wants to talk about a million different things at once.
And Pisces just wants to sit back and feel the vibe of one deep thing.
The Pisces head just starts spinning. It's massive information overload. But the real danger zone in the data is March 16.
Oh, what happens then?
Mercury makes a square aspect to Lilith.
Squares are hard aspects, lots of tension. And Lilith is, well, it's wild, untamed, shadowy energy, right?
Yes. Lilith represents the repressed, the raw, and sometimes the downright nasty parts of the psyche. When Mercury squares Lilith involving Gemini energy, there is a very specific danger of sarcasm or overly critical comment.
Ouch. And Pisces is so emotionally wide open and sensitive right now.
Precisely. A flippant, thoughtless comment from a Gemini could deeply hurt those sensitive Pisces feelings. The expert warning here is stark. Gemini surfs the surface. You need depth right now. They will rapidly drain your energy.
Avoid the energy drain. Very good advice. Okay, let's pivot from love to ambition. Section 4, career and ambition. Because with Mars in your sign, I imagine we aren't just sitting at our desks daydreaming by the water cooler.
Far from it. This is a month defined by turning luck into hard work.
Luck into hard work. I really like that phrasing. Let's talk about the luck part first. March 5.
March 5 is a golden day in the transit tables. The sun makes a beautiful trine to Jupiter.
And Jupiter is the great benefic, the planet of luck, expansion, and abundance.
And the sun represents your core essence, your personal shine. A trine is a 120-degree harmonious angle. When the sun trines Jupiter, the impact is a massive stroke of luck in creative projects and your professional reputation.
So this is the day to confidently walk into the boss's office.
Absolutely. The data clearly says bosses, VIPs, and important people will be very impressed by your natural talent and your attitude. You don't even have to try that hard to sell yourself. You just glow.
So the direct call to action for the listener is, present the artistic ideas, ask for the bigger role, do not hide in the back of the meeting room.
Strike while the iron is hot, because the professional energy shifts mid-month.
Let's look at March 9 and 11. The moon enters Sagittarius.
Sagittarius naturally lights up the Pisces sector of career and public standing, the 10th house. But this transit isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about the last quarter moon happening on March 11th.
Last quarter moons are about releasing things, right? Evaluating what isn't working.
Correct. Shedding. The primary task here is releasing old goals.
Clear out the old ambitions to make room for the new path. That's an interesting concept. So maybe you've been chasing a promotion for 2 years that you suddenly realize you don't actually want anymore.
Or maybe you're trying to please a mentor who doesn't even align with your core values anymore. The Sagittarius influence asks you to look at the massive big picture of your life and say, does this specific career path actually lead to the destination I want? If it doesn't, drop it without guilt.
Because you're really going to need that clear focus for the end of the month. The phase we're calling the grind.
The grind, yes. Look at March 20 and March 25.
On March 20th, the sun leaves Pisces and enters Aries.
Aries directly follows Pisces. So when the sun leaves your sign and enters Aries, it moves into your solar's second house, the sector of income, resources, and self-worth skills. It's entirely about proving your practical value.
And then March 25, the sun meets Saturn.
Saturn, the taskmaster of the zodiac, the planet of homework, strict discipline, and karma. When the sun meets Saturn, the fun and games are officially over.
The lights come on in the club, and the music stops abruptly.
It creates a strict deadline or a very challenging task at work. You are going to be tested by authority.
And the warning in the data here is very blunt. Do not whine or avoid the work.
That is crucial for listeners to understand. Saturn aggressively punishes avoidance. If you try to escape into your Pisces dream world on March 25 to avoid a heavy workload, things will go fundamentally wrong. The strategy is pure discipline. Put your head down. Show your capability. If you do the heavy lifting, Saturn always rewards you with long-term stability. But you have to do the work first.
It's a maturity test from the universe.
It is. And that maturity test extends directly into the next section of our analysis, money and finance. Because the sun in Aries isn't just about career skills, it's directly activating the money sector.
Right, section 5. So on March 20, we get that initial income boost potential.
Yes. The sun in Aries brings a very bright, highly confident energy to your earning power. You feel like, wow, I can actually make this happen. You are actively looking for bold new ways to increase your daily income.
Taking direct charge of the bank account.
Exactly. But there is a trap hidden in the transits.
There's always a trap when things are going too well.
Look at March 6. Venus enters Aries.
Venus rules both money and love. And Aries is highly impulsive fire.
Put them together, and you have the spending trap. The analysis shows a very strong, sudden urge to spend your money quickly on beautiful, exciting, flashy things.
I need this right now. It's shiny, it's fast, it's mine. Add to cart.
It is desire led entirely by impulse. The danger is making significant purchases that are just fleeting wishes rather than long-term investments.
So what's the actionable advice? Tie your hands behind your back when you walk past a store.
The 24-hour rule. It's a classic financial strategy for a reason, and it's cosmically mandated here. Wait a full day. If you still want that item 24 hours later, maybe it's a real need. But usually, with Venus in Aries, the intense desire burns itself out in about an hour.
That is solid, practical advice, especially because we have that severe reality check coming on March 25.
The exact same day as the career challenge we just mentioned. The sun meets Saturn in the money sector.
This sounds incredibly serious.
It is a very serious planetary alignment. It could easily manifest as a large, unexpected bill or a temporary, frustrating restriction in your cash flow.
So if you impulsively spent all your extra money on March 6 because Venus was in Aries,
you are going to be in significant trouble on March 25 when Saturn demands payment.
I see the roadmap clearly now. It's all connected.
The strict requirement on March 25 is financial maturity. Be frugal. The long-term view that Saturn wants you to learn is that strict budgeting now builds solid, unshakable wealth for the future. Saturn wants you to build a foundation of stone, not a castle of cards.
So the lesson is save early in the month so you're ready and secure for the heavy energy at the end of the month.
Precisely. Forewarned is forearmed.
Okay, let's pivot to talk about the actual physical vehicle that has to carry us through all this fighting, loving, and working our bodies. Section 6, health and wellness.
The central theme here is vitality versus anxiety.
Going back to March 2, Mars entering Pisces, we talked about this primarily as emotional courage, but physically.
Physically, it is a massive, undeniable boost of vitality. Mars governs adrenaline, it governs muscle tissue. You will experience a strong, visceral desire to move your physical body.
So just sitting on the couch binging TV is going to feel uncomfortable.
It will feel downright impossible. You'll feel jumpy. The recommendation from the astrological data is to start a challenging workout regimen or actively train for a physical event. Your cardiovascular endurance will be excellent.
Is there a downside to all that physical fire?
The caution note is very clear. Don't push so hard that you cause a minor physical injury. Mars can be incredibly clumsy because it moves way too fast. So run fast, lift heavy, but deeply watch where you step and check your form.
Got it. Form over speed. Now, what about the mental side of health? Look at March 15.
Mercury meets Mars in an exact conjunction.
The mind meets the fire.
This creates a scenario of the mind racing with a million ideas.
Yeah.
The mental processing speed speeds up dramatically.
What can be fantastic for brainstorming sessions at work.
But the severe risk is anxiety or deep restlessness if that high voltage energy isn't channeled outward. If you just let it spin around inside your head, it ferments into worry and panic.
What's the cure for that mental spinning?
Creative outlets, tangible ones. Writing in a journal, painting on a canvas, playing music. You literally have to get the energy out of the brain and into the physical world. Expressing creates the necessary balance. If you are painting, you aren't panicking.
That's a great bumper sticker right there. If you're painting, you aren't panicking. I love that. And finally, amidst all this intensity, we need some actual joy. Let's look at March 27.
The moon enters Leo.
Leo is the sector of pure, unadulterated fun.
It powerfully highlights the Pisces sector of fun, romance, and relaxation. And the underlying philosophy for this specific transit is simple. Laughter is truly the best medicine.
It sounds a bit cliche, I won't lie, but astrologically, it checks out.
It entirely checks out. Joy is an actual health metric this month. The cosmic prescription is to play board games, pet some animals, go outside, and enjoy the sun on your face. After the intense heaviness of Saturn on the 25th, you absolutely need the radiant lightness of Leo on the 27th to reset your stressed cortisol levels.
I love that perspective. Joy is a health metric. We should really track that on our smartwatches instead of just steps.
We really should. It's just as vital.
Okay, we're heading into the final stretch of our analysis here. Let's look at the cosmic toolkit. These are the highly specific details, colors, numbers, dates that our listeners can put on a Post-it note on their mirror.
Let's start with the power color for the month.
Seafoam green. And for the graphic designers out there listening, that's hex code #2E8B57.
It is a mathematically perfect choice for this energy, seafoam. It is directly connected to the ocean, obviously, which perfectly fits the Pisces archetype. But it is also deeply calming to the nervous system. It vibrates directly with that magical Neptune influence we talked about.
So maybe wear some seafoam green on March 25 when you're dealing with the boss and Saturn's strict deadlines.
It certainly couldn't hurt. It brings a subconscious psychological reminder of flow and peace amidst the rigid structure.
And let's recap the absolute key dates.
We have 3 major pillars holding up the month. March 2. The Mars entry. That is the initial energy spike. The green start button.
Then March 19.
The new moon in Pisces. The profound reset. Your personal new year.
And finally, March 30.
Venus moving into Taurus. The romantic comfort. The warm, luxurious reward at the end of the long journey.
Now, looking at the lucky numbers generated for this month, I clearly see a pattern here.
It is a deeply beautiful pattern. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72.
These are all direct multiples of 12.
The underlying math is elegant. 12 is the total number of zodiac signs. It universally represents completion and spiritual wholeness. And of course, Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. It heavily suggests a cycle of wholeness and cosmic order. Even though the month looks incredibly busy and chaotic on the surface with all that Mars energy, these numbers suggest there is a precise mathematical order underneath it all.
A hidden divine structure to the chaos.
Exactly. Look for these specific numbers in your daily life. On receipts, on clocks, on addresses. They are synchronicities, signals from the data that you are exactly on the right path.
Wow, what an absolutely massive month. March 2026 is clearly not messing around.
It really isn't. It demands your full attention.
So, to summarize the entire journey for our listeners,
We start with a Mars-fueled explosion of physical action and courage. We navigate a massive relationship turning point with the Virgo eclipse. We hit a profound spiritual high with Neptune. We finally clear our communication fog with Mercury going direct. We get a lucky break in our career. Then we buckle down for a very strict financial and professional reality check with Saturn. And we finally land softly in the comfort of Venus in Taurus.
it is a month of action powerfully guided by intuition.
That is the ultimate headline. You are a warrior monk this month, moving with lethal precision but guided by profound peace.
A warrior monk. I love that image to close on. It leaves you with something huge to think about, actually. What if the ultimate spiritual act isn't just meditating in silence, but actually taking bold, decisive, physical action in the real world to build the life you're dreaming of?
That is the exact question the universe is asking Pisces right now.
Well, that brings us to the end of this exhaustive analysis. I want to sincerely thank you for tuning in to this deep breakdown of the March 2026 astrological data.
It is always a pleasure to unpack the complex geometry of the stars with you.
If you found this strategic roadmap helpful for navigating the month ahead, please make sure you subscribe to Horoscope TV. That way, you will get notified the exact second our next analysis is available. You really don't want to miss what April has in store if March is already this wild.
Definitely not. The planetary shifts just keep coming.
Thanks again for listening, everyone, and we'll see you in the stars.
Goodbye.